Okay.
I just need to grab it. Sorry, everyone. What is the first thing? New business or not? Oh, don't worry about it. I got it on my computer.
Thank you.
Announcements? Any announcements? Thank you. Okay, old business, the minutes. Any comments or changes to the minutes that were sent out? I'll take a motion.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
Also, our online part of the part.
Yeah, you don't have a voice here anymore. Carrie? Oh, did you second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, thank you. Any opposed? All right. I'm going with the any opposed. If no one says anything, it's all passed. I'm sorry, new business? Okay, working groups and committee reports. We have to approve our 2025 work plan today, guys.
Motion.
Oh my gosh, that was quick. I'll second that. Can I? Am I allowed to?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion on the work plan for 2025? I think we had a good amount of time to look at it, and we've made some changes this year, so that's nice. A little shaking it up a bit. Okay. Any opposed? Okay, great. Agency reports. For the health department, we are sending out all of our routine inspection letters or late letters. We're summoning people for not doing their inspections last year, or 2 years ago rather, in 2023. Okay. Ed's on his way now. He can't figure out the computer, so he's just coming here. And we're just getting ready for the 2025 inspection season. It's honestly a pretty light one, which is nice for our staff because we're struggling staff-wise right now, and we'll continue to struggle through the end of the year here. So if anyone knows any people that can help us, have them reach out to me. What else do I have? Let's see. Nothing really. So, okay. Parks Department. Doug, are you still online there? Can you hear us? Are you able to give us an update?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't have too much to update, other than to share a little bit of news. If we have received notification that the Sterling Nature Center will receive the New York State American Public Works Association award for projects under $5 million. So we're really excited about that. It's great recognition for us. As well as just getting ready to spin up our spring and summer projects. We're just about completed with bridge design on the Deauville Island, Fleming to Deauville Island Bridge project. So that'll be the next construction you'll see on site. That is designed, and we're in the process of doing a little grant seeking in order to go out and do bidding for that project. Other than that, just getting ready for the season. Thank you.
Awesome! Congratulations on the award. That's a cool one to get. Okay. Planning Department.
So, really just a couple quick updates, and then I'm going to kick it over to Michelle for a little more detail. I'm happy to report that all 3 resolutions this past month for 2025, stream monitoring, buoy program, etc., were passed by the ledge without any issues. Lisa Kleckner did come and give a good presentation to the full ledge last week. That went over pretty well, I think. And then Michelle has some updates on FOPA.
So we've got our annual work plan for FLOPA. I just thought I'd run through it just to see what we're using the funding for. So soil and water is going to do best management practices in the county. We have the gauge station on the Owasco Inlet. Upstate Freshwater Institute, that's our tributary sampling program with the Owasco Watershed Lake Association. We provide funding for the CSLAP programs for 3 lakes. Finger Lakes Institute has a database, which has the buoy data and our stream sampling data. Cayuga County Health Department Septic System Inspection Program, Cayuga County Soil and Water Harvesting Program, and the operations and maintenance of the CD3 harvesting, or not, CD3 boat cleaning station at Emerson Park. Does anybody have any questions?
Thanks, Michelle. All right. Doug.
All right, so here at the district, there's a lot going on. We're keeping an eye, monitoring, obviously the rain and snow melt. All the creeks and waterways really swelled up, so we're ready to respond to anything that comes up from there. For the districts, our statewide water quality symposium is coming up next week. It's a big training session for district employees. It goes Tuesday through Friday with different just different classes, different topics that everybody gets trained on. So there'll probably be, typically there's over 300 conservation district employees, plus usually we get our federal partners, but with all that going on, I don't think that they're going to be attending this year, but they're usually really good classes. This one's in Rochester. Tree shop sale for the district's going on, so if anybody needs any vegetation to plant, feel free to go to our website. There's a link there, order form, all the information that you need. You can order everything right through there, or call our office, and Lisa and anybody else will be able to help you out. We do have a new employee, a couple new employees starting here. We have one that was replacing one employee that went to go back to school. Her name is Angelina, and she is starting next week, time for the training. So we wanted to make sure she had the opportunity to attend that. And then we have a new motor equipment operator starting as well to replace an open position. So they're starting on the 17th, so we're ready to have them hit the ground running as well. We're also watching the budget process for New York State. The EPF budget, it's at $400 million now, so we like to see if what the cuts and try to hear what's going on. We get a lot of funding from that for all of our grant programs, essentially, that we deal with, AgNat Point, CRF, special pots. So just monitoring that process. And then there's a new general permit out for stormwater for the state. That's enacted, so projects that were under coverage for the last permit would have had to apply for continuing coverage in this go round, and just trying to familiarize ourselves with the differences between the old one and the new one. We're still teaching our 4-hour classes. We got one coming up on the 11th, and we got another one coming up in April. So just trying to see what's new with that permit. And then there's other new general permits being offered by the state. We don't know how these are going to affect us yet because they're just in draft form and it's a comment period, but there's one for invasive species. It's specifically aquatic invasive species. So mechanical harvesting now may fall under similar guidelines to hand pulling, which would mean that we would have to get permission possibly from every landowner where we cut weeds. We have to identify a plan and a map of where we're going to be cutting, and submit more or less an application. So I'm going to try to find out more on that, because if the application takes a while to get like your normal stream permit application, then we could be already behind the 8 ball on all this. So if the permit comes out and we need to start applying, say the permit comes out in the summer, what do we do, right? So our boats are ready to go. It just depends on whether we get the proper paperwork to be able to go and do what we've been doing for the last 40 years. I can understand hand pulling if you're disturbing the bottom, but if you're just mechanically cutting and harvesting, collecting it all on one boat, that's what I need to find out.
So you'll need permission, written permission?
That's what it sounds like.
From anyone who's...
From the landowners, right? So
But you're in a lake.
Right.
And if you're not touching the ground, then that's a navigable water.
Right.
And no one owns it. Everyone owns it.
That's a good
right?
question. I don't know how they did it with the hand pulling. We didn't do much with hand pulling over the years, but you used to have to do that in order to be able to hand pull an invasive weed.
That was in wetland areas.
Which now, everything is now considered a wetland along the lakes, so.
Which I argued when that happened.
So, just sounds like more regulations and hoops that we're gonna have to jump through.
Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna be tough. Well, it's tough initially, I guess, but it depends on.
But that's a good distinction to follow up on with DEC is navigable waters and lakes versus creeks, streams, and wetlands, where property lines do cover the whole creek, and they don't in the lake.
Right.
OGS might have something to say about that, but I don't know.
Right, it's tax.
So-
Taxes going up. Yeah, so there's a lot to still try to figure. There's still a draft form, taking comments,
Right.
so, yeah, we'll.
It might be a comment back to them to be like, can you clarify if this applies to mechanical weed harvesting in the Finger Lakes?
Right.
Because if you're not touching the bottom, you're not touching anyone's property, so what's the problem?
Yep, you're just cutting, like mowing the lawn and collecting. Like, we just cut it, and I was told a story that some of the water chestnut in the river, if the canal corps goes by, they might cut it, put it on a barge, and then just take it somewhere else and just dump it back off the barge. So it was cut and
It's
taken
not
out.
helpful.
Exactly. Ours, at least, we cut it, it's got sidebars, it goes onto a deck. We fill up our boat, we go offload it, and that's it. We don't just cut it and let it float.
What do you do
around.
with it? Do you compost it, or? do you-
Yeah, we take it to different like
Okay.
farms and stuff like that, that put
Okay.
it, spread it in their fields, and then just, it dries down to practically nothing. And then they just till it in, so it's just nutrients coming back in. So these new general permits, there's one for stream banks and shorelines, there's one for wetlands, there's like 4 or 5 different new permits that are coming out. There's supposed to be general permits, which are supposed to be easier, but I know what we've learned with the stream one is, even though you have to do like a pre-application type of thing, and then you may still apply for the joint application permit. So the general permit doesn't save you any time, like in theory it should. It still could take 6 months to a year to get a permit, even though, like what do you call it, the nationwide permit for the Army Corps, they're just like, just meet these goal deliverables and you're good to go. Like, there's your permit. Don't exceed the thresholds of the number of footage of stream bank stabilization. So we have a meeting coming up with the DEC where we're going to talk to them. So,
Good luck.
yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Gonna need it.
All set?
Good to go.
Okay.
Any questions?
Do you do anything with fish?
We don't do anything with fish, other than catch them on the weekends sometimes.
Good.
Did anyone see the video of the 12-year-old boy catching like a 4.3 pound bass in Massachusetts ice fishing? That thing was gigantic. It was like this big, and it was like this big around. It was huge. So, okay, anyways, I guess no one else saw the video. Okay, Solid Waste Management Program Office update. Do we have Evan? You're on the line.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have any new updates for you guys, but just a reminder that the electronics recycling event is Saturday, March 22nd. Again, we're doing 3 locations, one at Cayuga Community College, and then at the Venice and the Ira highway garages. Registration's still open for that, so it's not too late. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Evan. Any questions from anyone on that? Okay, Cornell Cooperative.
Good morning, everybody. Just a couple updates. Tomorrow is regional manure applicator training in Cortland that our regional ag team sponsors. And then we turn to Frank.
Sure.
I had a feeling I should call on him today.
You did?
I did.
That was probably the better
I was like,
choice.
okay, Dan Frank, Dan Frank.
On March 17th and 18th, we're having an ag transportation and rules shop meeting, one in Moravia on the 17th, one in Cato on the 18th. We will have a representative from DOT there to answer anybody's questions in regards to ag equipment on roads. I think it's usually a pretty successful event. And then in February, the 26th, we had our Cayuga County Dairy Days. It was a pretty successful meeting. We had a good group. People seemed to learn quite a bit. A lot of note taking, which doesn't always happen. Yeah, I'd say that was a successful event. And anything else?
Oh, one last thing. I had to look it up here. It was good that you called on Frank. Right. March, excuse me, March 24th in the evening, we're going to be hosting a webinar on bird flu. So we're still finalizing the details on that, but we'll get that out. More focused on folks with backyard poultry, people that might be in feeding birds in their backyard or interacting or noticing wildlife, and what they should do if they come across any sick birds. So,
That'll be beneficial.
yes.
Good.
What question? What day was that again?
March 24th, and
Thank you. That's a good one for us to promote.
yeah, and I'll make sure once like I said, we're finishing up the flyers in the next day or two, we'll get them out. Or get them to Michelle and Michelle get it out.
Perfect. Thank you.
We'll probably send that out too. Okay, thanks, Dan. And Frank. Okay, I can't see who's online. I take it Seth is not tonight?
I don't see so.
Or Tim in his absence? No? Okay.
No.
Okay, Town of Owasco. Ed, can you hear us? That looks like a cutout.
Is
it a cutout?
That's why I was trying not to laugh when I was
Oh
ready
my
to do
God.
my report.
It's literally, I'm like, that doesn't look real. There's like, like a seam at his neck. So he hasn't gotten here yet, but I bet he'll be here any moment. So we'll move on and we'll come back. All right. Cayuga Lake report.
Roxy's on.
Oh, Roxy, hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys today?
Good.
Sorry I'm late. Okay, so we just submitted letters on the EPA response to New York State's 2020-2022 303D list, supporting the adding back of all of the water bodies that were removed for sediment impairments way back when. I don't know if you remember that. It's 2 years ago they did that. And also supporting the addition of 3 lakes for HABs impairments, of which Owasco is one. We also submitted comments on the proposed changes to the total phosphorus guidance value, which there's a lot more to that than that. I don't know if any of you have delved into it, but it expands coverage to streams, to Class C water bodies. It adds chlorophyll and benthic macroinvertebrate analyses to supplement total phosphorus measurements, and it creates different levels of phosphorus targets for different water bodies. Those should be on our website soon. I can share them with anyone who's interested in the comments. This coming month, we will have a presentation from Lisa up there at Finger Lakes Institute, just go over their research and their services, kind of an update on that. In April, I'll give an update on a project that we did out of Ithaca on our drinking water source protection program. We got a grant to do a build out analysis, which is normally done for transportation, and what the impacts will be for development on transportation. Instead, we looked at what the impacts of development would be on water quality, and took that modeling and applied it to all the municipalities in the watershed, and what kind of land use controls or protections they have, to see if there are things that could be strengthened. And so we did that for 6 Mile Creek, our water source, but it's really applicable. The concept is applicable to anyone. So I'll share that. And at the same time, we also did a large scale model solar law. Again, looking at each individual municipality's protections or code that they have now, and pieces they might want to add to take some of the burden off them, and have the projects be implemented in a better way. And then specifically for Cayuga County, we're looking down the road here a little bit, but in May, we hope to have like a municipal training credits presentation. We did this in Seneca County last year, where we had the Soil and Water Conservation District, planning, and NRCS. There were others, I can't remember, but we'll have presentations. So we want to do that with a Cayuga County focus this year in May. And then we were thinking of following it up in June, drilling down to Aurora and Cayuga potentially to talk about their water and wastewater and stormwater projects that they have going on. So that's what's up and what's coming up.
Great. Thank you so much, Roxy. Any questions? Okay, great. We're going to hop back to Town of Owasco. Because Ed, I looked over and I'm like, I thought he was going to come here. And then I'm like, oh, wait, there's a big seam at his neck. That's definitely. I love how you remembered in your rush to put that up there.
Yeah,
And you left it on.
I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you needed quorum.
We didn't lose it. Thank you, though.
We just approved, we had bid openings last week for our water sewers separation project. It came in at $5.1 million just for the construction part, not including engineering, not including contingency. So it's going to be like a $6.5 million project to do 3 streets, do sewer separation, and new water lines on those 3 streets once we had the thing done up. So we anticipate we're got a meeting with EPA this afternoon, 2 o'clock, and on a Monday as well, to get the long-term, short-term funding involved, and then we will go a letter to proceed next Thursday, and then hopefully construction will start within 2 months once we get all the bonding and stuff in place. So so that it's anticipated. It's up to, with reconstruction, with revitalization or putting grass on. Now with the restoration, thank you, I couldn't think of that. With restoration, it said a 2-year project, but we think the major construction part will be done in 1 construction year, have it done by the fall, and then probably go back next year and do that. And but it'll give us it'll stop a lot of groundwater from getting into the sanitary sewer of the city of Auburn, which hopefully will save us money in the long run. Total cost per resident is about $92 a year at this point. Yeah, actually it'll probably save them money because the money we're not paying to the city anymore will hopefully offset that. That's the goal. We did receive $3.1 million in grants for this project, so we're going to be financing about $3.5 million at the most. So it's about, and then we got some other projects starting, but nothing else to report on water quality wise.
Great, thanks so much. Okay, Duck Lake.
Well, I guess I'm off, huh? Well, the Lobella Corp Association there, we're gonna be changing the way we treat the lake. Last year, we split it into two sessions. One was much earlier in April, the other one was later on in June. And they found that to not be as effective as they thought. So this year, we're gonna do the application in June, and it's gonna be one application which will cover the milfoil leaf, the curly leaf, and the pond weeds. And that'll be one application in June. And then, so that's something new. And last year, we had medium, a lot of people weren't too happy with the results of the NautiQ product that they use, but the DEC likes to have us use it. So it's pretty reasonable, and we expect the cost to be somewhere around $24,000. It may be more, because stuff goes up overnight. And that'll be it for the lake for this year. But the lake was in good shape last year, later in the season, because that stuff doesn't react as fast as some of the other products, so, and, so overall, the lake's in good shape. The fishing's been good. And by the way, we get bass like that, like you just said.
Oh, really?
We get bass like that for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And Duck Lake has a good supply of bass too. And so that's about it. We're just looking forward to get going on it.
They're extra concentrated because it's a small lake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There hasn't been many fishermen on it this year because it was late getting the lake hardened up with enough ice. And so there hasn't been very many fishermen. One group I know went out and they didn't have much luck. I don't know why the black crappie aren't hitting. They should be, but haven't heard any word on them either. And I haven't been out myself. So that's about it.
And that lake held the record for black crappie for 30 plus years probably.
Yeah.
Came out of Duck Lake.
So,
Cousin of mine.
but the lake is in good shape.
Good, good. Glad to hear it.
Question, do you have alewives in Duck Lake?
Hmm?
Do you have alewives in Duck Lake?
Yeah.
You do?
Okie dokie. I think the next person that's on, let's see. Anne!
Hi, I'm next. Good. Briefly here, for Aula, looking forward to this weekend's Bob Brower Scientific Symposium in plain English. And about right now, we're over 165 people registered, 92 of those being in attendance. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll have Michelle displaying a little bit on invasive species along with our display table that day. And we continue on with public forums and education. We are contacting with CSI and Ithaca to do our public forum in April. We will be in the junior high schools here in Auburn in April to do our watershed series with the 7th graders. I was wondering, I had 2 questions if I could, well, several things. First, a compliment. Carrie and Michelle, thank you so much. It's great news to hear about the legislative approval of funding for those projects. This is really good. I had a question about in Lake have remediation efforts and impacts on fisheries. Is there anyone there that might give us some direction? Several years ago with DEC, we were trying some different bubblers and sonar systems, and we're asked to pull those in order to do some studies on impacts on the fisheries. Has anyone ever, I know you're such a well-versed group, has anyone seen results of those studies? Cornell was supposed to do those. Have you? No? Oh, nothing there. Okay.
I can do a little research on that.
Okay, I appreciate that because just to share, we're getting, as Aula, as a group, we are getting some business-oriented groups approaching us about that, and we've been pushing them off to wait. I wanted to announce that we have some good news that we're working still in the early planning stages, but we had a private donor offer $50,000 to Allah if we could come up with matching funds. And a group have been in communication there with Doug Kirsten and Tim Schneider about some potential remediation programs within the watershed. And internally, we're working hard on our campaign to seek that matching $50,000. But things are coming along very well with that. And then lastly, a question. I got contacted by Hearst Newspapers, a reporter, about the State Department of Health septic system program, and I spoke highly about it, but I referred the write the person writing the article to you, Ani, saying, how well your environmental health department works with code enforcement officers and with the watershed inspector here to promote this program. So I'm hoping, but it was very interesting that somebody out of Albany contacted me on that. I just wanted to let you be aware. And that's it. Any questions?
Do you remember the name of the person?
I still have it in my records. Not off the top of my head, but I could forward that to you.
Okay, I think we got some sort of a media inquiry a couple weeks ago, but it was sent to our deputy director, so I'm not sure if maybe that's what it was, or
Okay.
just so I can look back and see. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Because this program is great, and we've been promoting it in our newsletters, and I know several have taken advantage of this and want to promote the positive impact that this money has. It's ongoing. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope to see you guys Saturday. I haven't seen you in person in forever, it seems like.
I'll be over the phone. I need to register still. I wasn't sure if I'd be available. Unfortunately, I can't come in person.
Okay, please do. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've got some dynamic people there.
Yeah, I'm looking
Thanks.
forward to it. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anne. Okay, Skinny, it looks like I don't see anyone.
Nope.
No
regional planning.
No regional planning, Great Lakes, or just DEC in general have anything?
We have 2 people.
We've got Lexi and...
Oh, we had Emily, but I don't see her anymore.
No.
Hi, Lexi.
Just me. Hey. Just a few things. So there's some funding available to apply for. So the Clean Water, Clean Air, and Green Jobs Environmental Bond Act has some funding available to award projects to support nature-based and green infrastructure projects designed to reduce flood risk and enhance community resilience. So you can apply for those through the consolidated funding application, and those are due June 6th. There's also the Great Lakes Sediment and Nutrient Reduction Program that's available right now. Those projects aim to improve Great Lakes water quality by reducing nutrient loads from agricultural watersheds and eroding shorelines and streams. Those applications are due April 29th. And then there's just a few outreach things. So the annual tree spring seedling sale is now open through DEC through May 14th. Those are on a first come, first served basis. So if you're interested in getting any of those seedlings from the Saratoga Tree Nursery, put your orders in soon. And there was also a tree tracker that was posted on the DEC website recently. I can put the link in the chat as a way to track the 25 million trees goal by the governor. So it's pretty cool. So feel free to check that out and also add any of the projects that your groups have done in planting trees as well. And then lastly, the New York State Floodplain and Stormwater Managers Association has an annual conference that is coming up on April 22nd through 24th at the Ithaca Downtown Conference Center. And I can put in the link in the chat to register for that if anybody's interested. Thanks.
Thanks, Lexi. Michael, you're with DEC as well. Is that the case? Okay, yep.
Hello. I'm actually from Ulster County.
Oh,
and sorry, I'm not meant to speak or anything. I'm just here to be a fly on the wall. I'm a part of the Water Quality Coordinating Committee in Ulster County, and I reached out to Keith Batman just to see if I can tag along onto your guys' meetings, just so that we can have some inspiration for our own committee and see how you guys run, because we're just trying to redevelop our own committee and see how you guys are structured. You guys seem very formal, and just to get some good inspiration from you guys.
Okay,
If
thanks.
that's all
Sorry
right.
for the confusion. I Googled your name and it said may work at DEC, so. Okay. I don't think we have anyone else on.
No.
Anyone else have anything?
And a motion to adjourn.
Oh, Dr. Joya.
Oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
no, I was asked about fish today, because it seems like a lot of the cyanobacter problems seem to start, one of the hellfish line, which is becoming a bait fish that get into lake, and it used to be that Cisco's had the place in the environmental system, and then the hellfish end up doing is eating the Daphne pulex, and then you have more cyanobacter because the Daphne are decreased. There's people see in Cayuga Lake, they used walleyes to try and decrease the alewives, and that helped in that lake. But in the Wasco Lake, they tried stocking out its walleyes, it didn't work. They did stock Skinny Atlas Lake as walleyes, and they seem to grow better in Skinny Atlas. And it generally seems like the Cisco's and the walleyes maybe do better in cold water, like Lake Huron, Lake Superior. They both do pretty well. And the alewives do better in warmer waters because they were originally Atlantic coast fish, and Atlantic is a lot of times warmer than the lake temperatures are in the winters. So, but it's a possibility in the future. But there's other lakes like Cayuga Lake, which is like a little, like 20-acre lake, and by Cayuga Lake, and they tried to stock walleyes in there. That didn't work. But I don't know. So.
Dr. Joya, where the hell did you learn this information?
Well, it started when I read the
You literally know everything.
Secret Life of Lakes by Professor Todd Meister, was at Union College, and he wrote a book like in 2002, and he cited the Otsego Lake story. And then I followed up on the Otsego Lake stuff, and even now in 2022, they're still pretty good with the walleyes in Otsego Lake. They maybe have rockier and they're higher altitude, like, so maybe they're cooler and rocky areas. They do things to encourage, they're trying to encourage like lake white fish in Otsego Lake, and they're putting in stony reefs and stuff, which might help walleyes too, but I don't know. But it's complicated for sure. And then the other things, in some lakes like Lake Huron, they have, in Superior, they got more quagga mussels, and when they got the quagga mussels in those lakes, they seem to have decreased nutrients in the water, and then the Cisco's came back, and the alewives went away, or decreased. Now the alewives started getting into the Great Lakes in like 1870s.
Oh, wow.
It probably came up the ship with the ships and the shipping in the Great Lakes and like old ballast and stuff. And then when they built the Welland Canal, then it went into the upper Great Lakes, like Erie and Huron and Superior and stuff. So.
Crazy.
He knows
Well,
how the
it's-
Edmund Fitzgerald.
I know.
He knows how the Edmund Fitzgerald went down.
He knows everything. Dr. Joya, literally. Okay, Dr. Joya, I was on my way to work yesterday morning, and I was listening to WRVO, and what do I hear? Oh, we dedicate this broadcast, or we'd like to, do something for Philip Joya. And I'm like, of course. I have no idea why his name is coming up, but of course it is.
Yeah.
I looked you up on their website.
Enough money to put anything in.
Yeah. It was for some sort of organization that you're involved in.
And
Yeah, see, he doesn't even know everything. Involved in everything.
Yeah, probably gave him a donation.
Anne found your tidbits very interesting.
Roxy's typing something.
So, okay, in the meantime, take a motion.
I even read the book. It's a good book.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I have it up here.
It helps put into perspective, and it's a different approach, different way to look at things.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Retired, I can do that.
Okay, we had a motion.
I would love to make a
Second.
Yeah.
Any opposed? Boom, done. Okay, thanks everyone.